We here at the Sports History Network proudly partner with 26 podcasts, all revolving around the history of sports. But did you know that many of our hosts were sports history authors way before they started their shows? It's true. We've got Joe Ziemba, host of When Football Was Football, Joe Zagurski, host of Pro Football in the 1970s, Mark Morthier, host of Yesterday's Sports, Tommy Phillips, host of Lombardi Memories, and Scott Adamson, co-host of From the 55-Yard Line. All these authors have many books for you to choose from. To check them out, go to our website at sportshistorynetwork.com/sportshistorybooks. Pick up your copy today. Soundtrack provided by Kevin MacLeod of filmmusic.io.
This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Hello and welcome to the Sports History Network Showcase, our in-house show featuring SHN podcasters talking sports, talking history, and talking sports history. My name is Oz Davis, host of the Sports History Network's Truly the Goats podcast. And Showcase this week is Tommy A. Phillips and his podcast for the Sports History Network, Lombardi Memories. Tommy, how are you doing 6 games out from Super Bowl 55?
Pretty good, yeah.
Before we get on to more focused matters, I've got to ask you this one. Well, in your bio on the Sports History Network website, that's sportshistorynetwork.com, the second sentence reads, "He is a Packers fan in Steelers country." How did that happen?
I guess I felt bad for the Packers when I was a kid, and that they had gone through so much in the 80s. They were really bad team, so I kind of felt bad for them and became a fan of them. And then as soon as I became a fan of them, they took off and became amazing. So I picked the right time to become a...
Wow. So you became a fan out of sympathy.
Yeah.
Of the Packers from
Yeah.
so-called Titletown. Did you grow up in Pittsburgh area?
Yeah, I've lived here. Yeah, I had a chance of being a Steelers fan, but whenever they lost that championship game to San Diego, everyone was disgusted with them, and I chose a different team.
It's time for Lombardi Memories, a show that takes you back in time into January or February to the greatest one-day.
All right. Well, let's talk your podcast, Lombardi Memories. Tell us a little bit about how you came to get into podcasting and what the inspiration for your podcast is.
Well, I just really love Super Bowls. It's one of my favorite things. It's just the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter who's playing in it or what the score is. I just really enjoy Super Bowls altogether. So I thought I could make up a podcast just focusing on Super Bowls. And I know that there are like Facebook groups that do similar things, but I wanted to try doing a podcast about it. And I found that I really enjoy doing it. It's a pretty fun process every 2 weeks to go through.
You've also written a couple of books in what I assume is a burgeoning series called Pro Football Decades. Tell us about that project.
Yeah, whenever it was the summer of, I think, 2016, I had a dream, and I thought in this dream that it would make a good book if I wrote a book on my favorite era of the NFL. So I made a note of it that I wanted to write a book on the 90s, and it started out as a kind of slow, short little thing, and then it got bigger and bigger and bigger until I'd written about, I don't know, 300,000 words. And so that book is really long, and it took 2 years to write it.
Okay. Why is the 90s the best decade?
Well, actually, I'm not sure if the 90s are the best decade because, whenever I did my book in the 80s, I was like, man, I wish I'd grown up during this era of football more than the 90s, because the 80s were just,
Really?
yeah.
But it was just blowout after blowout, wasn't it?
Well, in the Super Bowl it was, yeah. But there was just so much good football there. Of course, I'm slowly getting into the 70s, and maybe I'll think that they're the best decade too. So you never know.
They're all the best decade.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's talk the upcoming Super Bowl. It seems that the headline that most people are reading and I guess want to read and want to talk about is Brady versus Mahomes. And, even though they don't actually meet on the field, of course, as we know, it's sort of this really interesting matchup, generational level goats, really. I mean, I do the show too as goats. I could say that. Goat level quarterbacks. And I was trying to go back through history. Maybe you can help me out here and find a similar situation in Super Bowl history. But the best I could come up with were Super Bowl III, which you've already done, which had Namath versus Unitas, right? But even that was kind of a weird situation because Unitas only came in at half, right? And then you had 48, which was Russell Wilson's Seahawks versus Peyton Manning's Broncos. Peyton Manning, of course, wasn't as old as Tom Brady. I don't think anybody is as old as Tom Brady right now, except maybe Joe Biden. And Russell Wilson, I don't think even then was regarded as highly as we regard Mahomes. So let me ask you this. How does this Super Bowl compare to those? And am I missing any? Am I missing any great generational matchups? I was thinking about Favre versus Elway as well, but they weren't that far removed in age.
Yeah, possibly you could go with Super Bowl 10 and 13 with Bradshaw and Staubach. I mean, Staubach he retired only 2 years, or he only played 1 year after that second matchup with Terry Bradshaw. But Terry Bradshaw was still, in the middle of his career, getting towards the end. So, yeah, there's no real close comparison to it. But I do think the Favre Elway one might work the best because Elway was at the very end of his career and Favre
he was 29
near the beginning.
So
yeah,
he never went to another Super Bowl after that, right?
Right. Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, we didn't know it, right? But that was the pinnacle. That was the peak of his career.
Yeah.
He didn't have very good Super Bowls, though, did he?
Who?
Favre. He played in the two.
I think his numbers were pretty good. I mean, he did throw 1 or 2 interceptions in the one against the Broncos, but he easily could have won MVP in Super Bowl 31, except that Desmond Howard had that amazing game.
Special teams wins the MVP. I love it. Love it. I tell you. All right, let me ask you this one. Okay, I hadn't planned to ask you this, but since I got you here, one of my dreams about the Super Bowl is that one day I will see an offensive lineman win the MVP. Could it happen?
Yeah, it could happen, but they'd have to have a really good reputation because they're not going to get it unless everyone knows who they are, who they're going up against. Let's say if it was, I can't think of I can't think of anyone off.
If you're facing off, I think if you contain Aaron Donald,
Yeah,
you could probably make an argument for that, right? Right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I would love
Yeah,
to see
but you
that.
would have to be one of the best already in the league, so everyone knows your name. Because like say it was David Bakhtiari
Okay.
of the Packers, and he was going up against a really good defender in the AFC. And he was able to shut them down for the whole game, and it turned out to be a game where there wasn't much passing in it. Then I think they'd have a chance.
Yeah, it would have to be like a 13-6 game or something like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Or like that Patriots Rams game.
right,
I
exactly.
saw that building. I watched the Rams because that's the hometown team, and I saw that building for years and years. Went through the whole Fisher thing, the whole
Mhm.
move from St. Louis thing, the whole Hard Knocks thing, and then to get that Super
Mhm.
Bowl out of it. Oh my God, such a letdown, such an anticlimax. The other bad thing about it was I actually had a bet on Johnny Hecker to win the MVP in that Super Bowl, and I might
Oh,
have won.
really?
That game could have gone in at 6-3 or something, and I would have won my bet.
What odds did you have on that?
Oh, it was ridiculous. It was it was actually technically any other round,
Oh, I see.
right? But I had Hecker in mind. I mean, they had everybody listed.
Yeah.
And it was like 80-1, 99 to 1.
Right.
I got a really good on, and I'd throw in like $5.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, sure. I'll take $500 for that. Sure, if I have a crummy Super Bowl game. Let me ask you this. Your predictions for Super Bowl 55, please. We talked before, we chatted a bit before, and going into the championship games, you were thinking Chiefs Packers.
Yeah.
I, of course, got it completely wrong. I had the Bills Packers.
Yeah.
But do you still like the Chiefs then?
Yeah. I'm still sitting here a week and a day later, and I can't believe the Packers aren't in it. But I still can't believe it. I mean, I thought this was their year, and it wasn't. So now we get to see Brady go up against Mahomes, and I think Brady will keep it close. I don't think he. I mean, what was his biggest loss in the Super Bowl was 8 points, and his biggest win was only 10 points. So I bet it just comes down to the wire again, or maybe the Chiefs take a 10-point lead and then he gets them a late touchdown to make it look closer. But I think it's going to end right around the line. The line last I saw was Kansas City -3, and I think it's going to probably end right around there.
Yeah, the over-under is started at 57, so they're forecasting 30-27.
Yeah,
which is absolutely believable.
Yeah,
absolutely believable.
Yeah.
I think. On the the problem for me, and I've written about this for other websites today. Sorry, sportshistorynetwork.com. I was writing about this, and the Super Bowl is so difficult because it's obfuscated by the Brady mystique.
Mm-hmm.
Take Brady out of the equation. What do you have? You have, okay, granted, the Buccaneers are an all-star team, especially on offense, right?
Yeah.
Devon White is emerging on the defense as one of the top 3 or 4, defensive players in the league. Okay, fair enough. However, this team is coached by Bruce Arians, and they make a lot of mistakes. They make a lot of dumb mistakes, okay? The defense, statistically, is not very good. In fact, I believe they're bottom 10 against the pass.
Yeah.
You look at a guy like Kelsey. How is nobody can stop this guy, much less a below average defense.
Yep.
The other things is that okay, people have been noting that the Chiefs aren't blowing anybody out. When are they going to flip the switch? Well, they flipped the switch. Everybody was waiting for this, and then it happened, and yet people are still doubting it. But it's only because of the Brady mystique.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it is. I mean, the numbers, the trends, everything points to Kansas City by a lot more than 3.5.
Right. Right.
Actually, if you strip the names off of this thing, it would be about +8.
Yeah.
Because this is just a sloppy team, and the Chiefs have the swagger.
Yep.
So I like the Chiefs too, and I'm glad to hear somebody else say it. I'm hearing too much. You can't bet against Brady hype. Right. Okay. Well, Tommy Phillips of the Lombardi Memories podcast. Thanks very much for joining us on the podcast. You want to give us a sneak preview of your next episode?
Yeah, my next episode is, well, hard to sugarcoat it, but one of the most boring Super Bowls ever. Super Bowl 8 between Miami and Minnesota. And I think Miami had the record in this game for the least pass attempts in a game. I think they might have that record. I'll have to go back and see. But, yeah.
I don't know. Tony Eason's Patriots didn't get too many against the Bears in Super Bowl 20. That might be your competition.
Well, I think they had a lot of pass attempts. That's what I mean, pass attempts.
Oh, okay.
Not yards.
Okay.
Yeah, pass attempts, because I think Greasy just kept going back and handing off the Sonka over and over and over again. And that's so going through this Super Bowl, it's like I can't wait to get to some of those Steelers-Cowboys ones, which are a lot more exciting.
Oh, yeah. Super Bowl 13 in about a month and a half at sportshistorynetwork.com. Tommy, thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
This has been the SHN Showcase podcast. We'd like to thank our guest, Tommy Phillips of the Lombardi Memories podcast, which can be found at sportshistorynetwork.com or wherever you get your podcast. The theme song for the SHN Showcase is Quartz by Ani Tech, and it is available through fair use agreement via freemusicarchive.org. SHN Showcase will be back soon with another Sports History Network podcast. Until then, this is Oz Davis saying stay safe and stay historical.
At the Sports History Network, we're all about sports yesteryear, and so we're so pleased to introduce you to Row One, an online memorabilia gallery and shop that brings your sports history to life anywhere. The Row One gallery includes over 5,200 gorgeously reproduced prints of team posters, game program covers, game tickets, advertisements, and more in baseball, pro and college football, pro and college basketball, and more. And any gallery item may be printed in a variety of sizes on wood, metal, canvas, acrylic, or poster paper. And in Row One shop, check out the thousands more of unique items with the retro and historical designs dating back to 1876, including t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, phone cases, mugs, blankets, pillows, towels, and even shower curtains. Go to sportshistorynetwork.com, ROW1, for access to the full Row One catalog and for gallery prints and gift items, plus get a 15% discount off all prints on the Row One Pictorum Gallery with coupon code SHN15. Follow the link on the show notes.